start then by summing up, if you can, or begin to put into words how special this summer has been for you?
It's very difficult in words. I have to show you. It's one of those ones. It's the Lions is for any rugby player in Britain is the pinnacle, isn't it? I guess that's where you want to be. That's where you grow up watching it. Every 4 years you see that the big red jersey coming out, and you think, wow, this is something special, and all 4 countries come together. And only going through the system myself, growing up, you want to play the best best level you can, and working my way up the system, and wanting that next level, and then having that honour of putting your country's jersey on is massive, and but then to go and put a Lions jersey on is something just words can't describe really. It's not only the passion from your own country, it's the passion from 4 nations all in one, and it's just something special that you won't ever forget.
Was there one moment on tour where you kind of had to stand back and kind of go, whoa, I've made it, this is what dreams are made of? Was there one singular moment?
I felt that after I got selected in the squad, if I'm honest. Did a little dance, got a little excited.
What sort of dance did you do?
It's like a shuffle sort of thing.
Fancy showing us?
No. And then you sort of go through the training camp, the different camps, and then you get out there, and then, after the first test win, that was when you realise, this is something special. And then the low then of the second test, and then to come back and win the third test like that, that kind of, walking around, clapping the crowd, that's when you think to yourself, what have we just achieved here? Something special, and something pretty incredible.
And that try, that brilliant individual try, probably it's got to be up there, one of the best line tries of all time, I guess. What was that moment like for you in the first test?
First test is funny, isn't it? I guess it's like your first cap. You never know what to expect. You want to play well, but you don't want to do anything wrong at the same time, isn't it? It's that funny sort of mix. But just that first 10 minutes is such a massive time, because you want to try and set the pace of the game, or try and set your stall out to try and be physical and be clinical at the same time. But at the same time, you're still in awe of everything. Got the jersey on, the boys are here, in the crowd and everything, and it was pretty special. But then to get my first test try and have it like that as well was something that will put a smile on my face the rest of my days, I think.
Now I know you pretty well. You've got to talk about the point, the gesture.
Yeah.
That is, I don't know, I wouldn't have imagined, you doing something like that. So what kind of came over you? Explain to me.
Yeah, as you know, that's not me. I like to say a very modest man, and I'm a gentleman through and through, and I'd be the first to comment on someone doing that, and then there I am pointing at Will Genia, and the honest answer is I can't explain it. I think the hype of was it 6 or 7 provincial games before that, the build up, the first test, having just by anyone's standard done a pretty decent run to put myself in that position. And I just don't know, I just got overexcited, got caught up in the whole emotion, and at the time, I don't know, I just found myself doing it. I don't really think I'm going to point at him now, but looking back after the game, I did feel a bit, I felt really bad. My mum gave me a telling off as well, and and I apologised to Will afterwards. I said, look, well, I had no hard feelings. I didn't mean to do it. I just got caught up in emotion, and we had a little joke about but he said he would have done the same himself. It was one of those ones that if he had scored a decent try, he would have celebrated as well. But yeah, it wasn't the best idea at the time, but I have apologised, and
good man.
Yeah.
Good man. Mum would be proud.
Mum told me off.
Now there are probably 2 defining moments on that tour for you: the try, which you just talked about, and the vertical hoist in Melbourne. It's got over 100,000 hits on YouTube. That I think
99,000 of my parents. That is right. Not really.
What do you remember of that moment?
I remember getting the old through the legs pass from Drico and thinking, great, here we go, because I could feel it like it was what we call a hostile pass, in it, where it's hovering, but luckily enough I had a bit of time just to get it, and then Folau came and gave me a big hug, and we rested him for a bit, and he wouldn't let go of me, so I just took him with me, really.
There was a fair bit of hype about kind of your battle.
Yeah. It was.
The game.
there's a lot of media coverage of like his background and, you know, my background, and both being, you know, big guys, and the physicality, and, you know, we saw that in the first test, and the second test was much the same really, you know, it was blow for blow, and you know, that wasn't, in hindsight, it was not the best, most efficient way of running with a guy on your back, but yeah, it was one of those ones, and again, you can't really explain, it just sort of happened, and then he picked me up and tombstoned me then, and got a bit of a neck spasm, but then it was all right. Then, you know, shake it off, you're good to go again.
Because when we were watching the final test, as fans, it felt almost like a once in a lifetime experience. So, how did it feel for you as a player being out there on that final test and experiencing what you did in the win? And has it sunk in?
Hasn't sunk. Well, yes, it has sunk in, and it's a pretty good feeling. It's an awesome feeling. Do you know what I mean? Like, I notice it more now. Do you know what I mean? People, that was the beauty of being on a Lions tour, I guess, is when people coming up to you for photos, trying to guess what nationality they were, you know, and sometimes getting it completely wrong. Do you know what I mean? And it's the same now when I've been home a few times. People coming up to me, you know, thinking they're Welsh, but they're Irish or Scottish or English. You know what I mean? And you know, that's good to see that the Lions spirit is still going on, even though we've got a new season coming up. You know, and being out there for the third test, and literally there was a thing on Twitter and Instagram or something like that, hashtag Sea of Red. I literally was a sea of red, you know, wherever we went. You know, we found, like, going to training, there was massive queues of people trying to see us, just trying to get the bus to go to training. You know, going out just for like a walk through, or even going out for a coffee with the boys. There's people everywhere, and you know, not like it's a negative thing, but the fans were awesome, and you know, it was just amazing to have that support wherever we went.